Well, heard the news, and that's why I'm doing a video, another sort of remembering video, like I did for Robin Williams. Now, any death sucks. Any death does. And Leonard Nimoy, he passed away today at the age of 83. And I'm late to the party, so to speak, with these videos, because people probably already posted like millions of videos already about this as soon as it was announced early this morning, but um, doing mine now. It's kind of hard to put sort of things into words when you're thinking about, okay, somebody that I grew up with watching. I grew up watching the Star Trek films, the original series, and is no longer with us. Is always kind of hard. Is always hard to put into words. I would say this, and I'm not trying to say one death is better than the other, because that's a really, really shitty thing to say. But this doesn't have as much impact on me as Robin Williams' death did, because Robin Williams was really shocking. This was, at least Leonard was admitted to the hospital last night. He said he had chest pains, and we were all thinking in the back of our heads like, oh no, heart attack. And we were all hoping he'd pull through, but we all had that thought in the back of our head. Every one of us did that. What if he doesn't? And we were all fingers crossed, please, hope he holds on. But sadly, he didn't. But he's not really truly dead. Just like Robin Williams, just like anyone that dies that we know or like or have been in contact with, whether it's our friends or our families, they're never going to truly be dead because they're always going to be in our hearts, in our spirits. We're always going to remember them. And in the case of a celebrity, their spirit is going to live on through their films. So Leonard Nimoy is never ever going to be truly dead to me. Robin Williams is never ever going to be truly dead to me. Um, People in my family are never going to be ever really truly dead to me, because unless I cease to remember those memories, those times that I shared with my family, or the moments that I shared watching Leonard Nimoy play Spock, or watching the films that he's directed, like Three Men and a Little Baby, then he'll never truly be dead. And that's why I honestly have started to, after Robin Williams passed away, I started to rethink the way that I grieve, rethink the way that I experience, that I deal with death. Now, if it's somebody that I know personally, because I never knew Robin Williams or Leonard Nimoy personally. So, but if it's somebody that I know personally, that's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot. I'm probably gonna cry. I'm gonna be upset for a little bit, but then I'm gonna eventually come to the same realization that that person will never truly be dead. They will always be in my heart. They'll always be in my spirit. I will always remember them. I will always have memories of being with them, and the times that we've shared together. So it's like my grandmother Ruth. Um, I wasn't there when she passed away. I was living with my dad, and I definitely did, when I got the news one night, I definitely did feel that, and it didn't feel great, but I still was able to move on from that, and remember the times that we shared together. And and that's what a wake is. Definitely, that's what a wake is. And I think Leonard Nimoy You know, his character Spock, they had a wake for Spock, and we should do the same for Leonard. He always shall be and always will be our friend, and we will never forget him. And he lived a long life, and he prospered. He really did. I mean, he started out maybe a little bit of a struggling television actor, doing roles like that TV movie Baffled, which was a really, really weird movie. Weird TV movie. It would have made a weird TV show until he landed Star Trek and he landed the role of Spock. And he went through this certain point in his career before Star Trek the Motion Picture where he was trying to branch out and do different roles and where he's not Spock, like what he did with his role in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1978 remake. And I think he did a good job in that. But ultimately, he accepted after some deliberation, some convincing from his Star Trek cast members to return to the role of Spock for Star Trek the Motion Picture. And he embraced that role. And because of that, he's created a role that's going to be legendary. Spock is a character that is going to it's never going to die. It's like Egon. It's like Harold Ramis's character Egon. Spock is like Egon are always going to be characters that people will remember and people will cherish and people will enjoy for years and years to come. So it's it sucks losing Leonard. Excuse me. As you can see, like I'm not even honestly feeling that great. I woke up this morning, I was like all stuffed up anyway, but as you can hear, but it sucks losing Leonard, but like I said, he's never going to be truly dead because we are all going to have our memories of those times that we shared with our family or by ourselves enjoying his performances as Spock or whoever you might choose from his film career. And he will always be remembered as a great man, as a great actor, and in my opinion, he should be remembered as a great writer and director as well, especially a director. That's one part of his career. That's one aspect of Leonard that I think, honestly, thinks needs to be talked about more, is his directing. He directed Three Men and a Little Baby, the most successful movie of the year that it was released. And it's a very memorable, fun comedy in its own right. And Star Trek 3, his directorial debut. I think it's a really impressive directorial debut. I think it's a really impressive film. I don't think it's a bad sequel. I think it's a bad movie. I think it's a great film. And I think it's always been one of the most underrated Star Trek films. And maybe with this recent loss, maybe more people will learn to appreciate what he did with Star Trek 3 and did with the other films that he directed and other films that he wrote. And discover that Leonard wasn't just Spock, he was a great director, he was a good writer, and he was also our friend. And it was always grateful to the fans I've heard, and he was always he embraced Spock. Um, at first he wasn't willing to do that, but eventually he embraced it and even wrote a book called I Am Spock. So um, yeah, so rest in peace, Leonard. Um, it's sad and it sucks that you're no longer with us, but you're in a better place now, and you and fellow movie nerd or scientist Egon Spengler, um, are going to have good times together. And yeah, it's interesting that two of the most popular and most well-known movie nerds or scientists, and I'm not using the word nerd as disrespect here. It's a word of love and respect in this context, are no longer with us. It's kind of eerie in a way. Because when I thought of movie nerds, when I thought of movie scientists, I always thought of Egon and Spock. And both of them are no longer with us. But they'll always be in our hearts. They'll always be in our spirit. They will never die. They will live forever in their films and in the memories of their fans and their families. And I give my greatest condolences to Leonard's family, to his friends, and no other way to end this but live long and prosper, Leonard. Live long and prosper. Rest in peace.